Welcome back to Collecting Zars. Today we'll be diving into the world of personal finance again. And we are talking about Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. The previous video I've uploaded got quite a few views, and I showed that I was stuck at step 3. However, this time it is actually a South African version of the 7 steps suggested by the YouTuber Money Marx. I came across this channel recently and I have really enjoyed the content in this channel, especially one of his latest video where he titled 7 baby steps to go from 0 to 100,000 rands in South Africa. Money Marx adjusted the Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to make it more applicable for the South African context. Today we'll be testing out the baby steps and see how I did on the steps. So if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for more of these type of contents. Just going to start with a quick summary of the comparison of the Dave Ramsey's 7 steps and Money Marx version. So on the left hand side we have Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, which is applicable mostly for the US market, but can also be applicable for other regions. And on the right hand side we have Money Marx's 7 steps to get from 0 rands to 100,000 rands net worth quickly in South Africa. Money Marx kept the first step of the emergency fund, but Dave Ramsey recommended $1,000, whereas on Money Marx's one, it was reduced to 10,000, which is around half if you look at the exchange rate. Second and third steps are the same, very similar. Then the fourth step, to cater for the South African context, Money Marx recommends opening and investing in a tax-free savings account, or TFSA. Step 5 is also a bit different, where Dave Ramsey had Saving for Children College Fund. Money Marx suggested opening and investing in a retirement annuity. Number 6, Dave Ramsey is to pay off your house or your mortgage, and it was adjusted to invest in discretionary investments. And then step 7 is quite similar. Basically invest it, spend it, or give it. So let's jump into them in a bit more detail to see which steps I've met on Money Marx's 7 steps. In my previous video, I have shown that I was still at step 3 of Dave Ramsey's and haven't completed the others. Let's see how I do on Money Marx's one. Okay, let's get started. First step from Money Marx's suggestion is having an emergency fund of 10,000 rands, which is slightly over half of what Dave Ramsey is suggesting, which is $1,000. But that really is to cater for the lower average monthly salary for South Africans compared to that of United States. We have much lower average salaries and also lower expenses. And that is why Money Marx recommends 10,000 rands. And I believe that's much easier to achieve for most South Africans. Money Marx also suggests that you put in a third of that into a bank savings account and 2/3 into a money market unit trust, which I think is to earn a high interest rate whilst you lose a bit of convenience. But that is all good, because the 1/3 will hopefully meet it. And then if you do need the other 2/3, then you probably just need a few days to access the money. And I think I agree. This is a very important step, as emergencies are really unexpected and they can be costly sometimes, such as an unexpected medical bill or a potential job loss, which you thought was very secure. And now you having to be in the job market again and still having to face your expenses. Or could be house fixes such as a toilet leak or a roof leak that is quite urgent. So yeah, very important step, and I've managed to meet it. I actually have 20,000 because I was following Dave Ramsey's first step, saved in a bank's savings account. Okay, second one, Money Marx's second step is to pay off all short-term debt, which is the same as Dave Ramsey's second step. So this is obviously all including all the short-term debts, excluding your home loan or your mortgage, so such as student loans, vehicle loans, personal loans, overdraft, and credit card. Interesting here is that both of them recommend not using a credit card. And again, going through the three main reasons, there might be other caveats, but basically because it's not your own money, there's reckless spending, and because you see that amount, you're spending more than you normally do compared to if you have the same amount in your debit card. And thirdly, this is probably more of a point from the United States, from Dave Ramsey, where you have minimum rewards like 1 to 2% on your spend. But on those 2 points, on these 3 points, I would say, yes, I agree that both these serve as very valid reasons for the general public, especially for people who can't control spending and don't have discipline. However, if you have learned it the hard way, and you have responsibility, i.e. even if you qualify for a very high limit, you keep to a small limit, which is just enough to meet your monthly expenses, and you have strong discipline, i.e. you keep to the same budget, a set budget, irrespective of whether you have a credit card or a debit card, then I think you can benefit from having a credit card. I've obviously been irresponsible with spending on credit cards in the past. Over time, I've learned it the hard way, and I've built up some discipline and responsibility. And with that, if you really know about these rewards programs in South Africa, such as e-bucks from FNB and Discovery Miles from Discovery, really, if you utilize it properly on the lower end, you'll get 5% back. And upper bound is 15% plus. Well, there's not really a upper bound. If you really know what you're doing, you can get in excess of that. So that's why I still keep using a credit card. But I pay it off. I make sure to pay it off every month so that I don't pay interest. And again, Money Marx does refer to the snowball method and avalanche method. Dave Ramsey second step recommends snowball method because it's more of a mental momentum process where you list your debt from lowest to highest and you pay off the lowest amount first. That allows you to build up momentum and motivation to pay off the other debts. The avalanche method makes a bit more of a financial sense because you list your debt from highest interest to lower interest rate, and you pay it in that order. So in the end, you'll end up, less interest cost. Okay, so I've met step 2. Money Marx's third step is to have 3 months worth of expenses. Again, so that you don't go into debt again. And if you have dependents, such as kids or parents, then you probably want to build up closer to 6 months because that unexpected expenses could be higher. And he suggests that you build up a budget of your monthly expenses for the past 3 months so that you know what figure to target. I've gone through that exercise, and currently I'm still busy on this step. So unfortunately, I do not meet step 3, which is saving 3 months worth of expenses. Same as the situation as my previous video, but I'm working on it and I'm hoping to reach it by June 2024, or at least this year. I think it's very likely before June 2024. On the fourth step of Money Marx, however, it's actually to open and invest in a TFSA, which is a tax-free savings account, which is quite applicable for South Africa. And there's an annual limit of 36,000, which you can contribute to a tax-free savings account. Luckily, I've actually been doing that recently, so I do actually meet step 4. Step 5 is to open and invest in an RA, which is a retirement annuity to boost your retirement investment, which I am coincidentally also doing at the moment. So I also meet number 5, making sure that there's enough to retire on, because we all eventually have to retire at a certain point, because you won't be able to work forever, and it needs to be a sufficient pot towards the end so that you can use it to get an annuity, which then allows you to live on that annuity. Okay, and then step 6 of Money Marx is to invest in discretionary investments. It means everything not retirement investments, everything that is not a retirement investment. That includes individual equity, offshore equity, ETFs, and I actually do have an allocation per month, which I put in some ETFs. So yeah, I'm actually meeting this step. And then step 7 is very similar. You essentially give back. It's quite similar to Dave Ramsey's. Essentially, you give it, or you spend it, or you invest it. And then what Money Marx mentioned is that step 7 is actually when you pay off. You can choose to pay off your house, but earlier. However, that was in step 6. So all in all, in summary, I would say Money Marx's criteria is a bit simpler compared to Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, obviously to cater for the South African context. So in total, if we look at this current status, I'm still working on step 3 of Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, similar to Money Marx's step 3, which I think I will be able to reach it very soon. However, for Money Marx's 4, 5, and 6, I've actually been doing them, so I've met those. So if I can clear step 3, I would be able to get to step 7 relatively quickly. And yeah, that concludes the video. Again, check out both Dave Ramsey's and Money Marx's video. I've included them in the link. Included the link in the description below. I find them both very useful. Dave Ramsey, obviously, 7 steps more applicable for the US market, and Money Marx for the South African market. So if you found this video helpful or enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which baby step you are currently on for both Dave Ramsey's 7 steps and Money Marx's steps. So that's it. Until next time.